Ready? Start. Mr. Deputy Chairman, this is only an amending bill and the time is also very short, so I cannot take up all the industries separately, but I shall confine myself to a few observations. Last year also in this house by about this time we discussed another tariff amendment bill. In connection with that, I made certain observations as well as suggestions for the government, but I do not find that any attention has been paid to these suggestions. My suggestions were to this effect that when any will for granting protection or discontinuing protection to an industry was brought, B should be supplied with certain information under three categories. The first information was whether the protection granted to an industry had been used only by the indigenous industry or advantage of the protection had been taken by foreign capital and entrenched in that industry, because, sir, I submit that the main purpose of granting protection to certain industries is to develop our national industries. But if it is found that taking advantage of the protection, foreign capital goes into those fields where the industry is not highly developed or it does not involve a huge outlay of capital or huge outlay of machinery, the protection becomes a farce. My second category of suggestions was that when protection was granted to an industry, it should be seen how far that industry was progressing properly and also how far it was taking steps to lighten the burden on the consumers. Thirdly, when we are granting protection to certain industries, we have the right to demand of that industry that it should give a fair deal to its own labor. I suggest that when notes are circulated to us in connection with a tariff amending bill, we should be supplied that information on these various counts, particularly these three. Lastly, I would like to make another point in connection with the soda ash industry. The question of this industry was discussed thoroughly on the floor of the House last year. The fact is that I gave certain suggestions and also drew the attention of the House to certain peculiar features connected with this industry. The domestic production is still far less than the actual domestic demand. That is why import of soda ash is being allowed. But it was complained that licensee for importing soda ash were given to the Imperial Chemical Industries. Secondly, Imperial Chemical Industries is a world monopoly and serious allegations were made against that concern not only by us but also by those Indian gentlemen who are engaged in the soda ash industry, that concern taking advantage of its monopolistic position was maneuvering the price of that commodity in such a manner as to put the Indian indigenous industry in very serious difficulties. The only ground or criterion on which the license was given to Imperial Chemical Industries for importing soda ash was that for a number of years it was the greatest importer. But if, while granting protection to a national industry, we look at things in such a mechanical and superficial way, it defeats the very purpose for which Parliament is enacting this piece of legislation. About these things, I have no information as to what is the present position, whether these suggestions were considered, whether the matter was looked into, whether any investigation was undertaken, and if so, with what result. On these matters we have not been supplied with any information. Therefore, I agree to some extent with my honorable friend Mr. Kishan Chand that we are confronted with some tariff amending bills in installments. These bills are presented before us as necessity arises, but while they come to us, we do not have the total picture before us. Whatever information is given is of a very general nature and superficial, and it does not really help us to understand the real position as regards those points which I have made out. Mr. Deputy Chairman, as the time is short, I should like to confine myself to two or three observations. First and foremost, in addition to certain information being given to members who are interested in the subject, it is necessary when the Export Advisory Council meets twice a year that invitation should be given to such members to attend these meetings. The government itself will benefit by the members listening to the viewpoints put by those people who are in the trade. I had made this observation with regard to education advisory boards and every other body that members of both houses should be informed about the meetings of such bodies, and they should be allowed to attend them as spectators. They will not take part in the proceedings, but there could be nothing lost as far as both the government full stop.